And welcome back to Subconscious Mind Mastery. Thomas, Majona, and Himat in the house. Himat, welcome to the podcast.
So great to be here with you, Thomas and Majona.
Thank you. It's a full house.
We've got a new little rig going here, and Himat is in Colorado, but almost sounds like he's right here with us. So we're going to talk about another element, not yoga this time, Yogi Tea this time. But I wanted to ask you one question that kind of follows up on the Kundalini meditation that we've been talking about, that you've been doing for 30 years, that I've been doing for about 3 weeks. And
You're catching up fast.
A little longer than that. But you had mentioned something that I forgot to ask you to drill down on last time, and that is when you were saying that, in essence, it's active meditation, right? And you were saying sitting meditation is, for some, I'm one, not the best form. What is it about the Kundalini activity or active meditation that works so well?
I think it's the movement that you're doing that has a conscious action. That's the definition of a kriya, in that it gets the energy flowing into different parts of the body. And all this yoga is about, whether you're doing Iyengar, Vinyasa flow, or Kundalini, is to prepare your body so you can meditate. So when I say this is like an active meditation, it is to get the glands to secrete, and which then changes your blood chemistry. It gets your nervous system strong, which is very important. When people say they have trouble meditating, I say, well, what are you doing? It's like, well, I sit down and I close my eyes and I can't get my mind to settle down. It's like, well, you haven't done the preparation. And the preparation is what the yoga does best. And you can do other things to prepare, Tai Chi, Qigong, go for a nice hike in the woods. But if you just say, oh gosh, I need to turn off my phone, turn off my computer and sit down and meditate. I use the example of being in Colorado. If you're skiing and this is your first time, and so it says, oh, let's go up this double black diamond slope. That's my favorite run. And you haven't done your instruction, haven't learned how to ski yet, you're not going to have a very good experience. And the same with meditation. If you really haven't done the yoga, you haven't really got your body and mind in the right state, you're not going to have a very good experience.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. Thank you for that. What I also wanted to talk about, this is exciting, is 'tis the season, right? It's fall. Things are cooler, at least in the Northern Hemisphere. We've got a lot of people down under, and maybe they're, starting to feel the warm and coming out of the coat and jacket weather. Regardless of where you are, Yogi Tea is something that you've been brewing and concocting for quite a while, and there's a health benefit besides just some real good homemade tea.
Chai tea, by the way. Chai.
Well, actually, it's very, very similar to chai. There are some very subtle differences between the two. One of the things, if you go to a coffee shop and you order chai tea, it is not technically yogi tea. Those teas are very heavily caffeinated compared to yogi tea. But what people do when they take black tea or even green tea, they want that little caffeine kick. Another thing is that chai in the coffee shops are usually heavily steeped in sugar, whether there's too much honey or they just put too much sugar in it. Those are the main things that are the difference between the two.
Hey, Himat, when you use black tea, does it matter if it's caffeinated or decaffeinated? You
need to have just that little touch of caffeine, and that's why you only leave it in there for 45 seconds. And from the point of, if you're making a smaller amount, just maybe have the tea bag in there only 30 seconds. It's not important that you want that caffeine kick. You want the caffeine just to create the one element to bring everything together to create that whole.
Gotcha. So this is Ayurvedic.
Yes. Yogi Bhajan came from India, and his background as his yogi training was in the Ayurvedic Raj Yoga tradition. And so everything he talked about, when we talk about diet, nutrition, lifestyle, has its foundation in the Ayurvedic tradition, which is, to some points of view, is the original medicine.
And describe what that is for people who don't know.
It's very much of a naturopathic approach to health and vitality and health. to get your body, mind, spirit working together. Ayurvedic is very sophisticated, very detailed. If you get somebody to help you walk through, what your birthday is, what your body type is, and it's based on, different aspects of your body dynamic. To the point is, Ayurvedic's very, very sophisticated.
So Yogi Tea, what's in it?
Okay, the essential ingredients are cloves, which are good for your nervous system, cardamom. When you go to your health food store or you order online, it has cardamom pods, which is in its shell, or you can get the cardamom without the shell, and then you can get the ground cardamom. I like to get it out of the pods. If you get it inside the pods, which is kind of the shell of like a nut, you need to crush it up before you boil it. And that's good for your colon, for your digestive elimination. There's also black pepper, which is the peppercorn. So it's not like your shaker. And that's really good for purifying your blood. There's cinnamon sticks, which is good for your bones. And one of my favorite ingredient is ginger root. And if you make it fresh, which we're going to talk about, the ginger root is so therapeutic and good for your nervous system. It's especially good for women for all different aspects of your monthly cycle, and also for your sexual experience. Yogi Bhajan said, for women, drink some yogi tea before the act of sex. It'll help with your nervous system, so you'll have multiple tidings or
go ahead and say
orgasm.
It. The big O.
I'm trying to be polite here. It's like, well, there's no other word for it except when you climax. It'll help you with that.
Yogi tea is flying off the shelves as we speak.
Yes.
In a supermarket.
And again, we talked about the black tea. So he says it to catalyze the other ingredients. And then there's milk. I use almond milk, and I just
oat milk
try
is
to
really
keep
good too.
Dairy as little into my diet as I can. I'm not vegan, but if there's always a choice, I use the alternative then to dairy. And so those are the essential ingredients, and they work together to create this very therapeutic beverage.
Hey, Himat, is there a time of day that's better to drink this tea?
I believe, and I don't have any support on this, but for my body, it just works so well for me in the morning. I finish my sadhana, my yoga, my meditation I do every morning, and then I immediately go and heat up a large cup, like 20 ounces of yogi tea. And it just gets me set for the day. I think part of it is the therapeutic aspects. It strengthens your nervous system, it purifies your blood, and it just gives you, the little boost. And the boost is not caffeine or the little sugar buzz I get from having a little bit of honey in there. It just gets my nerves and body and mind ready for the day. I don't like to drink it in the evenings because it is a little bit of a diuretic. The biggest challenge is a little pivot is that when we go to the big summer solstice event in New Mexico in June for where we're at 2,500 yogis meditating and chanting together, they serve yogi tea in the evenings. I walk by there and I smell, it's so aromatic.
It does smell good.
The aroma is just with the cinnamon, the cardamom, the ginger. You walk by, it's like, oh, God, I want a cup of that. And I have just a little bit, and I go, oh, I'm going to suffer tonight because I'm going to have to get in the middle of the night out of my tent and walk to the bathroom. So to your point, Majona, I prefer it in the mornings.
So you said that you add a little bit of honey, and people that want to make this, does it matter what sweetener you put in there?
I would avoid just processed sugar. If you want to use, what's it called, stevia, that's fine. What's the other one? That's the agave nectar, which comes from cactuses. Anything that's naturally sweet, sweetened to taste. One of the things that helps to keep the tea, I think, more robust and takes that little edge of bitter out is to, when you prepare the ginger, peel off that light brown skin and get to that very vibrant yellow gold color of the ginger. I learned this from a friend who is a yogi and also a chef. And he goes, yeah, it takes a little time, but just peel all the skin off. Also, when you get your cinnamon sticks, don't just throw a cinnamon stick into the boiling water. Break it up into smaller pieces. And that helps give it a little bit more flavor and give it a little bit more robust experience.
Now, most people would probably be familiar. You can go into almost any grocery store, certainly Whole Foods and the like of that, and find yogi tea on the shelves. is it not just a good shortcut to get that and then drop a bag into the water?
That's the shortcut. I find I make mine all fresh ingredients, and in a pinch, I've gone to the store and picked. And the Yogi Tea Company is actually one that Yogi Bhajan co-founded with some of his students. They've changed the brand name from Yogi Tea to just Yogi, and they do have one, and they actually label it as chai just for marketing purposes. And you will add milk to it or almond milk to it. I just don't find it as satisfying than when I make it myself. It takes me about 45 minutes to peel and chop the ginger and break up the cinnamon and get everything together and get the water boiling. So it's a little bit of a time thing, but I just feel so satisfied. And plus, I make it to the level of strength I like. I think when I was communicating with you a few days ago about, Majona was making some, it's like all the ingredients, double it.
You can do it to taste, that's for sure. All right,
yes.
Well, we have a pretty good little package going here. People are starting to really ask for the Kundalini exercises that you do, that morning routine PDF that we have, plus we have the video that you and I shot in New Mexico, plus I have a little, that's not a little, it's a lot of Spotify music list that you can use to play music while you're doing the exercise. And now if folks want a Kundalini Yogi Tea, just email me, Thomas at subconsciousmindmastery.com. I'll shoot you over Himat's recipe. And for those of you who have already asked for the yoga PDF, you are going to get it automatically. So you don't need to re-ask, re-request. We're going to send it to you. But Himat is also kind of in the wings. If you have any questions about Kundalini, he is happy to answer them for you.
Great. Okay, I had one thing. The Yogi Tea, if you feel a cold or the flu coming on, drink as much as you possibly can. Yogi Bhajan has a story about there was an army officer who was, has troops out in patrol, and all of a sudden a flu epidemic went through, and he had them all drink Yogi Tea, nothing but Yogi Tea for 3 days, and nobody got sick. And the ones who had the early signs, and that's what I do. Whenever I feel a little sniffle coming on, I immediately, get my neti pot out and flush the sinuses, and then start drinking Yogi Tea, almost nothing else. Maybe a little juicing, but just let the ginger and the other ingredients really get your body strengthened up so you can fight off all these bugs that go around, especially in the wintertime.
Well,
and your house smells good.
Yeah, it does. It makes your house smell really good.
I will be brewing up some tea, and a client come in for some body work, and they go, "Oh my gosh, what you make?" It's like, well, I'll be a little surprised when we finish. We'll have a little cup of tea.
Yum.
Yeah,
That's
great.
great.
It smells amazing. The cinnamon and the cardamom and the ginger just create this amazing aroma.
Awesome. Good deal. All right, that's Thomas at subconsciousmindmastery.com if you would like your copy of the Yogi Tea recipe that Himat just described. And Himat, thanks as always for being with us.
Well, it's always great to talk to you guys. Thank you.
We'll see you later, and enjoy the journey.